Hello my friends and welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are all doing well. If you're new here, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe. Today I thought I'd sit down and do a bit of a Q&A. I feel like I've left you guys with a lot of unanswered questions, particularly in relation to me moving and the whole moving out process. It all just happened so fast. One minute I was like living with my parents and the next I was uploading a moving vlog with like no real explanation as to how it happened. Also just like filling you guys in on how it's been and just the whole process, because it is a process, let me tell you. Just like filming this video is a process. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen me going on a huge rant about how I could not film this video. I don't know what it was. Yesterday I literally spent all day, like a total of 7 hours trying to film a Q&A video. Like, how is that hard? It's not hard. Which is why I've woken up first thing, done my makeup, poured myself a cup of coffee, and I'm ready to just do this video. So if I'm a little bit deflated, that's why. I'm really just trying to perk myself up, really boost my energy. I have a lot to be grateful for. My hair cooperating today is just not one of those things. The man drilling yesterday was also not one of those things, but that's behind us. Let's move on. Let's get into this Q&A. I asked you guys over on my Instagram for your questions, which if you're not following me on Instagram, I would highly recommend that you do so. I'm always posting on there, always posting on my story, and always asking you guys for your cues. So I'm gonna try and get through as many as humanly possible, but you know me, not exactly the most concise person. Okay, first question is, are you renting or did you buy? I think I've made this pretty clear already, but in case you guys didn't know, we are just renting this place. We're just not really in a financial position to purchase at this point, just being completely honest and transparent. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Honestly, if we'd stayed at home like another year or so, we probably could have afforded to buy something, but it was really important for the both of us to experience living together before purchasing together. I don't know, you just hear all those horror stories about people being together for years and then finally moving in and realizing they hate each other, they cannot stand each other, they just cannot live together. I mean, I can see why, like it is hard. It's been so much fun, like I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's definitely added like an extra layer, I guess you could say, to our relationship. It's not a bad thing, like it's a positive thing, but I can see how it could be a negative thing for a lot of people. I think it's also given us a better kind of understanding of the things that are important to us and what we actually like in a place before we purchase, so we can kind of know what we're looking for. But yeah, that was a very long-winded answer. We are just renting at the moment. Next question is, what's the most lame or adulty house-related product you've gotten excited over? Definitely our trusty old Nespresso. I honestly love that thing so much. I'm sure if you follow me on my Instagram, you're sick and tired of me posting on my story literally every morning. Either me making my coffee, me drinking my coffee, just my coffee in all of its glory. Yeah, I just love it. It's so easy to use. Honestly, I was gonna say a goldfish could work it, but I mean, probably not with the flippers. Anyway, it doesn't take a genius to work it. It's very easy to use, simple, quick, efficient. We love it. Also, the fact that I'm not spending $5 a day on takeaway coffee every single day is a great feeling, really warms the heart. Big fan. My bank account loves it as well. Also love our air fryer. That thing is amazing. I got ours from Kmart. I think it was like $69, something like that. I could have completely pulled that number out of my ass, and that number specifically because I am an immature 15-year-old boy. But yeah, it's really cheap. It makes cooking so easy. You can just chuck a bunch of veggies in there, anything that's frozen, your meat even. You can even cook a whole cake in an air fryer. Like, I don't know how it works. I don't get the science behind it, but it's just like the best thing ever. How many days were there between applying for this apartment and moving in? Not many at all. I think my mum and I came and looked at it on a Tuesday. We then applied for it that same night, and then we got the call the following day on the Wednesday saying that we had been approved and that we were moving in. Move-in day was then the following Thursday. So just over a week. It all happened very, very fast. It was a little overwhelming, but I mean, it worked out. So do you think if you went with Nick and you were single, you still would have moved out? Ooh, good question. I don't know. That's so hard to say because that's just a reality I have not lived. I think I would have. If anything, I probably would have moved out sooner. Not that Nick was like holding me back or anything, but obviously being in a relationship, you just have to take someone else into consideration. Yeah, I think I would have. I definitely had a few opportunities to move out with friends and things. It would have just been a completely different experience. I would have either been living with a friend or in like a share house or something. I don't know. It's so weird to think about. I'm definitely glad I waited though, because I could not imagine living with anyone else. Have you had to deal with feelings of loneliness since moving out of home? No, not really. Loneliness is something that I've never really had to deal with, which I'm very grateful for. Even when I was living in Canada, like the other side of the world, I had no friends, no family, and I was in a really toxic relationship, and I was fine. I mean, I wasn't fine. I was not fine, but I wasn't lonely. I'm a very introverted, extroverted person, so I love people and I love socializing, but I also absolutely cherish and need, like require my alone time. So if anything, when Nick leaves work, I'm like pushing him out the door, like, see you later, have a great day at work, honey. Having that time to like recharge and just be by myself is like essential. So yeah, yeah, don't really get lonely. Anytime that I feel like talking to someone, I'll just whip out my camera and talk to you guys. I'm also still seeing my friends and my family quite a lot. I see my family probably a little too much. Oh, okay, this question I got a lot, and a lot of you have actually messaged me asking this specific question, so I guess you guys are just really curious. The question is, are you getting a dog, or when are you getting a dog? Are you getting a pet? What's the deal? Look, the deal is, unfortunately, we will not be getting a dog, at least not while we're living here. I just don't think it would really be fair to have a dog in such a small little apartment with like no real outdoor area. We're on the top level, like I wouldn't even know how to train a dog in an apartment. I know some people do it, it works for them. Also, probably more importantly, we're actually not allowed any pets, so we're not allowed a dog. We're not even allowed a fish. Next question is, how many other places were you looking at before you were approved? So this was actually the first one we properly looked at and the first one we actually applied for, which I know is not normal, and we got very, very lucky. In saying that though, I was keeping a close eye on what was out there, checking pretty much daily what was on realestate.com and Domain and all of those real estate apps and websites. So it wasn't like I wasn't looking, but this was the first one that like really caught my eye and I could actually see myself living in. Did you find it difficult to find a rental property without a rental history? So like I said, this was actually the first place that we applied for and it's the one we got. Not having a rental history is just something we didn't really have to struggle with, which I'm very thankful for. I think if anything, it probably worked in our favor. I know there were like 4 or 5 other applicants, the real estate agent said, and the fact that we could move in straight away because we were still living at home and we weren't renting, we didn't have to wait for another lease to end, worked in our favor because there were no tenants in here and they wanted to get someone in here as soon as possible. Next question is, what do you miss the most about living at home? Definitely my family and being able to see them all the time. You guys know me, I love my family and we're very, very close. And also my dogs, freaking love those girls. The best girls. I'm always going over there to like walk them. I'm like, can I borrow the dog for a walk? Yeah, other than that, like I'm fine. I don't mind cooking, I don't mind cleaning, I don't mind doing my own laundry. It's different when it's your own, and I know this sounds so bad, but when I was living at home, it's like, oh, such a chore, like have to clean, have to do the washing. But when it's your own, it's almost like a little bit of self-care. I can't explain it. I don't know if anyone else experiences it. Maybe it's just me. Sorry, mum. What criteria were you looking for in a flat? So I don't know if I mentioned this, but we actually weren't even looking at flats or apartments to begin with. I was more so looking at like houses and units and that kind of thing. It just so happened that the place we found was an apartment. And I was like, oh, okay, apartment living. Don't have to take my bins out. No gardening. Wonderful. A really great, easy transition into living out of home. And it's worked out really, really well. I think criteria-wise, one of the biggest things for us was location. Just making sure that it was close to both of our parents, ideally close to the beach, which I mean, can we get any closer? If I was any closer, I'd be in the freaking ocean. The next question is, how did you save? Budget, plan, saving schedule. I'm crap at saving and don't earn a lot. So I think probably one of my biggest tips, and I could honestly do a whole video on this. If you guys want to see that, let me know. My biggest tip is finding out your why. So why is that important to you? Why do you want to save for that? Once you identify that and really find out your reason behind your financial goal, it becomes so much easier to save. Like you want to save. Anytime you go to make like a frivolous purchase, you can just ask yourself, do I really need this? Is this helping me reach my goals? And if it's not, see you later, out the door, thank you very much. What's something that you discovered about yourself during the moving process? I think I realized how much of a planner I actually am. Like I kind of already knew this, but I just didn't know it reached this level. I literally planned out every single thing. I wrote a list of every single place that we were going to go and exactly what we were going to buy, and I researched every single item, like literally everything you see in this apartment, even things like our coffee table and like our cutlery set. Like I researched every single item. I read so many different reviews, just making sure that we get the best price, the best value for money. What are some things you're cutting back on in your life to account for rent/living costs? Not a ton of things. Like there's the obvious, making coffee at home, not buying it out, going out to eat a little bit less, but we really haven't made like a huge lifestyle change, I don't think. I feel like there's a really negative connotation with moving out and living out of home and you just having no life, essentially, just having no money to spend, and it doesn't always have to be that way. Yeah, we've definitely cut back on going out to eat and things like that, but if we wanted to, we could. I just think our priorities are different now. How did you go about budgeting when needing to buy everything at once? If you know that you're going to move out, or you know you want to move out, you don't know when exactly that might be. Like for us, we've been toying with the idea for at least a year. Once we decided that's something that we wanted to work towards, we started buying things slowly. So if I saw something on sale or I liked the look of something, I would just buy it. We ended up collecting quite a lot of stuff, so when it actually came time to move, it just kind of took that pressure off. We weren't buying everything at once. We had things kind of saved. Even little things like mugs or glasses, cutlery, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be like big ticket items like a lounge or a fridge, because like where are you going to store that? How much would you say you should save before moving out with a partner? I don't think there's like one magic number. It's going to differ completely from person to person. It really depends on where you live and where you're moving to and how much you're willing to spend, what your budget is. Some things to take into consideration are your bond, rent in advance, which I didn't know was a thing. Yeah, we had to pay 2 weeks rent in advance on top of our bond. So obviously that's going to vary from area to area. Like here in Adelaide, the cost of living and rent is a lot cheaper than say Melbourne or Sydney. You may have to pay to set up your utilities, like your internet, gas, water, electricity. We use Direct Connect, which was recommended by one of my friends. They do it basically all for you and we didn't have to pay any fees. It was so easy, such a smooth process. And then obviously furnishing the place, which will really vary on how much space you have, how much you're willing to spend. I don't know, I can't put a number on it, but I would just go through and work out all those things. Also having backup money, so like an emergency fund, just in case anything goes wrong, like you lose your job a day after moving in, like myself. Yeah, you never know what's going to come up. So I would save as much as you can. Have you noticed anything about Nick you didn't know before living together? Nothing major, but the one thing I've noticed that I never realized he did, he has a really bad habit, and he knows this. We've discussed this. And this is gonna sound so minute and just like unimportant, and honestly, if this is like the biggest strain on our relationship, then so be it. Count my blessings, but he leaves things open. He will go into a cupboard, open the cupboard, do his thing, and then just leave it open. It sounds so stupid, but it is so annoying, like having to go around and like shut all the cupboards. I don't know. He's gotten better in recent weeks, so props to him, but yeah, he knows that. It's probably the thing that annoys me the most. Okay, I'm gonna answer one last question because I feel like I've been talking for actual hours, and if you've made it this far, congratulations. Last question is, when did you know you felt ready to move out? I felt a urge, I guess you could say, to spread my wings and be an independent gal. I'm also very ready within my relationship with Nick. We've been together 2.5 years now, and it just felt right, like the natural next step, just taking that step and really creating a life for ourselves together. And then also my mum really encouraged me, just for the sake of myself and my own mental health. This isn't something I really touched on a lot. My sister and I are planning on doing a whole video about this eventually, but for the last year my sister has been recovering from an eating disorder, which has been hard obviously for her first and foremost, but also for everyone around her, like my parents and myself. Yeah, it's definitely been a struggle. It hasn't been easy. Just being that emotional support for my parents and also for my sister, it's just, a lot of the time I felt like I was, and I still feel like it's not gone away. Like me living out of home doesn't remove me from the situation because they're still my family and I'm still there to support both my parents and my sister. But just having that extra separation and just not being surrounded by that energy and just like the constantness of it all. I know it sounds so selfish, but it was just like what was best for me, and my mum saw that and she really encouraged me, even though I know that she didn't really want me to leave. I felt like I was the rock kind of holding it together a lot of the time, and that's a lot of pressure for a person to hold. Whew. And I still want to be that. I still want to be that for them, but in order to be the best rock I can be, I need to put myself first and my own mental health first, and that included me moving out. So yeah, hopefully that answers that question. Sorry to get emotional on you. I swear I cry literally every video now. Anyway, I'm gonna wrap this video up here. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't already. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram. I love you guys. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys.